Hi everybody, I'm LC. Just recently, an Italian court sentenced 23 Americans to prison and ordered them to pay $1.48 million in restitution to their victim. Now, all of these defendants were tried in absentia, and as of yet, Italy has not requested any extradition. Now, they've all been convicted of illegal kidnapping, and they were all members of the CIA. And they abducted or kidnapped a Muslim cleric by the name of Abu Omar off the streets of Milan in 2003. Now, he was kidnapped by the CIA and transported to Egypt, where he was tortured and interrogated. And he was suspected of recruiting and training suicide bombers that would be sent to Iraq and Afghanistan. Now, the reasons for the convictions are because, one, kidnapping is illegal, and two, torture is illegal. Now, there's a law, in the law, there's a process of apprehending and arresting alleged criminals and having them brought back to either their country of origin or the country in which they committed the crime, as long as they're not released to a country that allows torture. And the suspects also have to be availed of due process of law, fair, honest, and swift. This is called rendition, and in law, rendition is surrender or handing over persons or property from one jurisdiction to another. And the most common form of rendition is extradition. Now, there's an illegal form of rendition, which is called extraordinary rendition. And this is when a person is purposely brought to a country that uses torture for their interrogations. Now, this is illegal. And this illegal method of making certain that prisoners were captured and tortured for information was a process that former President George W. Bush was a very fond believer in, as well as an active participant. And he employed this method many, many times. And this is considered by law to be a criminal act. Now, even though the 23 Americans convicted in the Italian court will most likely never be extradited or actually spend any time in jail, the convictions have stifled any plans that they might have for any trips outside the United States. Now, they obviously can never travel to Italy due to the fact that warrants have been issued for their arrest, and they cannot travel to any country that has extradition treaties or arrangements with Italy, because if they're caught, they'll be sent back to Italy and imprisoned. So even though they were not arrested even in the courtroom and probably won't face any punishment or pay restitution, they can never travel abroad. They've actually been listed as international fugitives. Now, this whole extraordinary rendition thing got me thinking. Bush committed several crimes during his administration. The total number has been determined to be about 246. And a guy by the name of Benjamin Ferencz, who was a former chief prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials and is also the founding father of the basis behind international law regarding war crimes, as well as the commission that established the International War Crime Court. He's a world-renowned expert in the field, and when countries have any questions regarding war criminology, they call on him. Now, Mr. Ferencz says that Bush is definitely a war criminal. Now, Vermont, here in the United States, has already declared Bush a war criminal and has issued a warrant for his arrest, should he ever enter that state. But we all know that nothing will ever happen to Bush here in the United States or anywhere else in the world when it comes to him facing charges for these crimes. He'll never be punished. So here's my idea. There are two countries that are considering putting Bush on trial for his war crimes. Now, I'm not going to mention those countries because I don't want to incite comments that just have to do with those countries. If you're interested, you can find out that information on your own. But my idea is one or both of these countries could undertake extraordinary rendition of George W. Bush. Now, a legal rendition might be doable, okay, but I feel that Bush deserves to get some of the same horrific treatment that he approved for others. One of these countries should abduct him and send him to a country that interrogates with torture. And being that it's Bush, I'm sure that countries that use torture during interrogations will be stepping all over themselves to get a chance to, interrogate him. and those countries that don't use torture would probably institute it just to have a chance to participate. But using extraordinary rendition on Bush is only something I can dream about. The possibility of any country ever doing that are slim to none. However, there is another way, at least, to punish Bush, albeit not as badly, but it would be in a manner that would hamper his lifestyle. One of these countries, or both, could hold court, have a trial, convict Bush, sentence Bush, and issue a warrant for his arrest, just like Italy has done to the 24 CIA employees. So Bush won't go to prison or pay any restitution as long as he never leaves the United States. So just like the defendants in the Italian case, Bush will not be able to travel freely without fear of apprehension and arrest and imprisonment. So therefore, he will never be able to travel outside of this country. The rest of the world wants nothing to do with Bush anyway, so it'll be happy he can't leave our borders. Personally, I'd like to see Bush tried, convicted, and hanged, and his hanging posted on LiveLeak. But alas, that's only a dream. But I do feel he needs to be punished somehow. And if never being able to take a vacation or attend an event or open his mouth to make a speech anywhere outside of this country is all that's available, then at least that's a start. So after all, beggars can't be choosers. Take care.